Okay, everybody. So today what we're going to quickly have a quick look at is quickly. Oh, I'm terrible. Okay, so what we're going to have a look at is how to actually copy out this information into Word and make it look good. First of all, if you do actually want to present your raw information and raw data, here what I would suggest is that you do move this information across. So how do you do that and how do you make it look good? Well, let's just hide this for the moment, move it to the side. I would suggest Excel has this really cool function of taking a whole lot of cells and moving them any way you want, but keeping everything as it should be. So what I can do is I can select all of this and see how my cursor just changed. When it does that, I can then click it and move. It's effectively cut and paste without having to cut and paste. So I'm going to move this to the side there, and I'm going to call this one the mean, I'm going to call this one the median, and I'm going to call this one the mode. So I just copied and pasted into each one of these. Fantastic. I don't suggest that this is the best way of giving examples of your data as raw data to anybody. However, this is one way to do it. Okay. Good stuff. So let's say that you want to put this into your Word document. You've got everything laid out the way you want it. You can literally just copy it, Control C, go to Word, and paste it. Boom. Just like that. Done. If I move my cursor around, can you see this box that pops up? If you click on it, it selects the whole table for you. I would then suggest center aligning that table. That's the first thing. Now let me just zoom in here for you. Center aligning the table. If you want to, Excel can automatically edit the design of your graph. Of your table. Can you see where my head's at? So you can use this. It's neat enough. But another way of doing it is, for example, see how my cursor just changed? Okay, I can select different cells that way, and I'll just simply do that. Go up here to borders and put a line underneath. So that's shop 1, shop 2, and shop 3. It's clear enough then that each one of these applies to that data set and what it is that you're looking at. Alright, the next thing is with tables, you always want to put information about a table above the table. So right click, and then you want to go to insert caption. Table 1, it automatically sets what it is for you. Notice how you can't have graph, you can't have photograph or anything like that. In formal literature, we only ever have tables and figures. Equations even sometimes, but for you mainly you're going to be looking at tables and figures. So you hit table 1, put a colon, and then say what you have to say about the table in detail. You can exclude the label from, so in other words you can tell it that you do not want it to include table 1 above the table, but I would keep it table and above and hit OK. Then make sure to center align it. There you go. So now you've got your caption. Of course, remember, excruciating detail is really important here. And you've got your table. Sweet. If you now bring your cursor, so say that I didn't have that. If you bring your cursor to the bottom of the table, that is effectively the end of the table. And in this case, I've just added a whole nother row below. How do you delete rows and how do you delete columns? I'm going to change the formatting of this just for example's sake right now. So bear with me. Okay. What we can see here is that we've got a row that we don't need. If I select over the whole row like that, so simply remember that how that mouse changes. Yep, mouse changes. Click, hold, select over, let go. There we go. Selected the whole row. I can then hit backspace on my keyboard. If I hit delete, it deletes what's inside each cell. If I hit backspace, it deletes the whole row. In the same way, I can apply that through and through. Good stuff. So I'm just going to undo this a few times now so that we go back to this. Alright. Backspace. Remember, Control Z to undo. Any mistakes can always be undone. Yay! Lovely. There we go. So now we have a nice table. Let's say we want to now bring in the information to do with that table, this graph. We're now back in Excel. You hit the graph, right click, copy, go back to Word, and right click, and paste. And you can center align it. See how there's no space between the table and the graph? That's a problem. If you bring your cursor to the before the graph and then hit enter a few times, it'll bring it down. That's number one. Number two, graphs should be generally quite large. So right now what I'm doing is I'm changing the size of it. I can change the graph size in a few different ways. I can either not click anything on my keyboard, just grab that corner and start editing the size, or if I want to keep it the same as it was, I hit the graph, hit shift on my keyboard, and I can change it, and no matter where I go, it always keeps the aspect ratio the same, which means it's the same width to height in ratio as always was when I pasted it. Good. Just like that, I've changed that for you. Excellent. Just extend this for a moment, for example's sake. Good. Finally, let's add a caption. You see, these things kind of need to be thought out. Even I can't think that quickly on the fly. Hit OK, and now it's nicely below. The thing is that Word loves to color these things and make them all fancy fonts and everything. Scientists hate fancy fonts. Scientists don't like that kind of idea. They generally stick with mundane detail. If, however, you do want to change it and try out the whole document, Word up here has what's called a font set. So anytime that you select some writing and click on that font set, it'll always apply that to wherever you've selected it to. So in this case, if I hit this nice little arrow down, I see that it's caption. Right click, modify. I'll change it to black. Great. And I'll change it to center align. And hit OK. Now it's changed it here, but because this is also a caption, it changed it there for me as well. That's the fast way of being able to edit all of this information in your write-up very quickly. Okay, so that's all that I'm going to say to that. And if you have any questions, put them up. Maybe I'll make a few more tutorials for you. If you've got a question, someone else is bound to have it as well. No worries. Take it easy.